Welcome to this video. We're going to talk about solving special angle equations. So in today's lesson, we're going to continue talking about adjacent, supplementary, and vertical angles, but we're going to incorporate equations and solving equations with those angles. We're also going to discuss one new type of angle relationship called complementary angles. So let's start with that. Complementary angles is very similar to supplementary angles in that instead of adding to 180 degrees, they add to 90 degrees. So complementary angles add to 90 degrees. For example, 30 and 60 together make 90, so those are complementary angles, which is also a right angle. So if two angles below are complementary, for example, what would be the value of x? Well, this one's 37. Then x has to be whatever adds to 90. So in that case, 90 minus 37 means x must be 53. Okay, so we're going to use these questions to kind of guide us through the problem solving process. And I'm going to talk about a very common error that you see with these types of problems. First, ask the question, are the angles given complementary, supplementary, or vertical? Then once you answer that, you're going to want to answer, should I set the equations equal? Should I add them to 180? Or should I add them to 90? And then lastly, does my answer for x make logical sense? Usually your value for x is not a negative number or a decimal. So if you get a negative number or decimal, go back and double check your work to make sure, because you might have made a mistake. Keep in mind, if the angle is complementary or supplementary, then you're going to add the two equations to equal 180 or 90. If they're vertical angles, then you're going to set the equations equal. Alright, let's take a look at this example. Angle A and angle B are complementary angles. If the measure of angle A is x plus 28 and the measure of angle B is 4x minus 8, find the measure of angle A. Okay, so we know these are complementary and complementary angles add to 90, so we're going to take these two values, x plus 28 and 4x minus 8, add them together and set it equal to 90. So that's what we have here. X plus 28 plus 4x minus 8 equals 90. Then we just need to do some simplifying. So notice both of the equations are on the same side, so I'm going to combine like terms here. X and 4x give me 5x, 28 and negative 8 give me 20. Then I'm going to subtract 20 from 90 to give me 70, and then divide by 5 gives me 14. So x is 14, but keep in mind it asked me for the measure of A, angle A. So all I have to do is plug that back into the equation for A, which was x plus 28. So in this case, it would be 14 plus 28. And so I know that the angle measure must be 42. Alright, let's try one more example. In this case, A and B are actually vertical angles. So when two angles are vertical, I'm going to set the two equations equal to each other rather than adding them and setting equal to 90 or 180. So let's see it worked out. This was only a kind of two-step equation here, but setting up, it would be 2x plus 1 equals x plus 10. Then if I subtract 1 from 10 and subtract x from 2x, I get x equals 9. Notice the key difference here, two key differences. I'm only looking for x in this case, not the angle. And when I set them equal to each other, the variables actually subtract from each other rather than add in the previous example. So don't make that mistake. That's a very common mistake. Okay, so keep in mind, when you set two equations equal, the like terms go to one side of the equation and change signs. When you add two equations, they do not change signs. So what is the error in the steps below? Well, notice this person set the two equations equal, but then on the next step, they have x, 8x. Well, that would be 3x plus 5x, but notice these are on opposite sides of the equation, so it should have been subtraction. Same thing with the 2 and the 12. It should have been subtracted to give you 10. So it should have been 2x equals 10 here, not 8x equals 14. So don't make that mistake. Alright, so you're ready now to try some delta math practice problems? Go ahead and solve the special angle equation problems.